All right, let's just jump right in. Every single time you unlock your phone, you're basically stepping onto a battlefield. It's this constant battle for your attention, for your trust, and honestly, sometimes for your whole perception of reality. Because let's be real, not everything you see online is what it claims to be.
In this image, this pretty much sums up the entire problem. See, on one side, you've got credible information, thoughtful analysis. And right next to it, you've got this absolute storm of chaos, urgent warnings, miracle cures, shocking secrets, all of it designed to look just as real. They live right next to each other, which makes navigating it all so difficult.
So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? When you're just scrolling through your feed and you're getting bombarded with all this stuff, how in the world do you actually separate what's real from what's fake? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down.
To even begin to fight this, we have to know what we're up against. And it's not all just fake news. There are actually specific categories for this stuff. Experts call it information disorder. And trust me, understanding them is the very first step.
First up is misinformation. And honestly, this is probably the most common one. You know the type. Think about your aunt sharing some old flood warning from 3 years ago because she genuinely thinks it's happening now and wants to keep everyone safe. She's not trying to hurt anyone, she just got fooled. That's misinformation.
But then we have disinformation. And the key difference here, the most important word, is intent. This is false information that is created and spread on purpose to deceive you. Think of those phishing scams that look like official government websites, or stuff that's totally fabricated to make you vote a certain way. That intent to cause harm, that's what makes it disinformation.
And finally, we get to the trickiest one of all, malinformation. This is when someone takes something that's actually true, like private photos or personal emails, and they release it or share it completely out of context, with the specific goal of hurting someone. So yeah, the information is real, but it's been turned into a weapon. Okay, so now we know the different types. But how do these fakes actually, work? Turns out there's a playbook, a set of go-to tactics that use again and again and again to trick us. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how they do it.
You can really think of it as a game. They're trying to score points against your own critical thinking. But the cool thing is, once you know the rules they're playing by, you become a lot harder to beat.
Rule number 1 is to completely hijack your emotions. Any content that makes you feel really angry or scared or just outraged, it's designed to bypass the logical part of your brain. It wants you to react first and share before you even have a second to think. So if a headline makes your blood boil, that's your signal to stop and pause.
Next up, they create this illusion of credibility. You've seen this a million times. A top doctor says, or researchers have just discovered. But which doctor? Where's the research? If they can't give you a specific, verifiable source, that is a huge red flag.
Oh, this one is a classic. Just throwing a random number or a percentage on something makes it sound so official, so well-researched. 90% of people don't know this secret just sounds way more convincing than most people don't know. But a lot of the time, those numbers are just pulled out of thin air. Okay, now this tactic is really sneaky. They'll take a photo or a video that is 100% real, but they'll strip it of all its original context. So a picture from a flood back in 2011 gets passed around today as if it's happening right now. It creates a totally false story using a totally real image. And of course, there's the most direct tactic of all, just outright manipulation. We're talking photoshopped images, videos that have been selectively edited, or any other doctored content that's made to create a reality that just flat out doesn't exist. This is where your own eyes can really deceive you.
All right, so we've seen their playbook. How do we defend ourselves? Well, the good news is you don't have to be some kind of digital detective. All you really need is a simple 4-step plan.
Your first line of defense is always the URL. A real web address like bangkokpost.com can be copied by fakes that look almost identical, like bangkokpost.com.co. See that tiny little addition at the end? That's a massive warning sign. Always check the address before you trust anything on the page. So here's your new habit, your 4-step mental checklist. Number 1, check the source. Is that URL looking a little weird? 2, check the evidence. Are they actually citing any official reports or real sources? 3, check the tone. Is it trying to be neutral or is it basically yelling at you with emotional language? And 4, do a quick reverse image search on that photo. You might find out it's years old. But just as we're getting good at spotting all the current fakes, the game is changing.
Artificial intelligence is now creating a whole new, much more sophisticated generation of deception, and we all need to be ready for what's coming.
And this isn't science fiction. We're already seeing it. AI can create incredibly professional-looking news anchors that aren't even real people. It can clone the voice of someone you love to try and scam you over the phone. And it can create totally convincing fake images of political leaders. The threat is getting so much more personal and way more believable.
But for now at least, AI isn't perfect. We can fight back by learning to spot the digital glitches. Look closely. Does the person in the video blink in a weird, unnatural way? Is the jewelry they're wearing a little warped? Are the edges around their hair kind of blurry? Those are the telltale signs that a machine made the image, not a camera.
This brings us to what is, without a doubt, the single most important rule in this entire explainer. This is the one thing that could stop so much of this stuff dead in its tracks. It's simple. If you have even the tiniest little shred of doubt about something you see online, just don't share it. You can literally be the gatekeeper of truth for everyone in your network. So I'll leave you with this to think about. The next time you're scrolling and you see that post that gives you that jolt of anger or surprise, what's the very first thing you're going to check before you even think about hitting that share button?